My name's Chelsea. I use the pronouns she, her, and today's Life Changes Storytime is brought to you by the Children's Book Bank. The story I'm going to read to you today is one that's very special to me because my mom used to read it to me a lot as a kid. And I think that it's a classic, and I'm glad to be reading it to you today. It's called The Family Book by Todd Parr, and it's a really, really cute story about different kinds of families. As you can see, some families look alike. Some families like to eat different things. Some families like to hug each other. Open this book to read about all different kinds of families. Sounds exciting. I'm gonna wear my reading glasses. The Family Book by Todd Parr. And Todd dedicated it to my family, who sometimes did not understand me, but encouraged me to go after everything I wanted, even when we did not agree, as I now realize this takes a lot of love to do. TP. Some families are big. Some families are small. Some families are the same color, but some families are different colors. All families like to hug each other. Aww. Some families live near each other. And some families live far from each other. Some families look alike. Some families look like their pets. All families are sad when they lose someone they love. Some families have a stepmom or stepdad and stepsisters or stepbrothers. Some families adopt children. Some families have two moms or two dads. Some families have one parent instead of two. All families like to celebrate special days together. Some families eat the same things. Some families eat different things. Some families like to be quiet. And some families like to be noisy. Ooh. Some families like to be clean, but some families like to be messy. Some families live in a house by themselves, and some families share a house with other families. All families can help each other be strong. There are lots of different ways to be a family. Your family is special, no matter what kind it is. Love, Todd. The end. I hope you enjoyed this children's classic as much as I did. Today's story is not an easy story. It's about death. And it can be really difficult for a lot of people to talk about. It's personal to me because I've lost people I loved in this past year. And I'm sure that it's a sensitive topic for many of you as well. I hope that the story that I read to you today can help you come to terms with your emotions, whatever you're feeling, the way it did me. I really enjoyed reading this story, and I really like that we can process our emotions through fiction and through stories. So, today's book is called The Funeral by Matt James, and it's about a girl called Norma whose granduncle Frank just died. And she gets to miss school on the day of his funeral. And as children do, we think that it's fun to miss school. But once she gets to his funeral, she starts to change her mind. So let's get started. And let me put on my reading glasses. The Funeral by Matt James. No school for Norma, said Norma, putting on her mother's shoe. A few days earlier, there had been a phone call. Her great-uncle Frank had died, and today was for saying goodbye. Norma was practicing her sad face in the mirror of her parents' room. Though she was, in fact, pretty happy. It was a day off from school, and she would be spending it with her cousin Ray, her favorite cousin Ray. There was a little flag on the car that drove them to the church. Norma tried to sound out the word printed on it. F-U-N, she said, and then she said it again. The big black cars moved slowly through town. Norma rolled her window down. Then she rolled it up again. Up, down, up, down, up, down, until her dad pressed the button that took her window privileges away. Mom, Uncle Frank was really old, right? In the parking lot, her mother put a million Kleenexes in her purse and checked her makeup. Norma! She heard Ray from across the parking lot. Norma! Norma! The funeral was about to begin, and into the church they went. As he took his seat in the row ahead, Ray passed Norma his giraffe. It was wet with slobber. Gross, she whispered to Ray, who didn't hear her. Norma loved her mother's purse. She put her face right into it and breathed deeply. The smell a mix of toothpaste and makeup and sweet, warm leather, different from the old book smell of the church. Norma liked the feeling that she got sitting there, as invisible dust appeared and was trapped, dancing in beams of light. And oh, how long they sat on those hard seats, with all that talk about God and souls, and not very much talk about Uncle Frank. Ray climbed and fidgeted the whole time and kept studying the hairy ear of the man next to him. Twice he made his mom take him downstairs to the bathroom. There was an organist who looked about 100 years old. She played a swirling song, and people in the front row began to move out of the church. Ray turned around to Norma and whispered, "Is Uncle Frank still a person?" Then they all went to the little building next door to the church for refreshments. There were tables piled with little triangle sandwiches. Ray and Norma tried a few. There was also a table covered with framed pictures. They were of Uncle Frank. Norma thought of him in the coffin under those flowers. Their parents seemed happy when the two of them slipped outside. Out back, the church towered over them, and it felt to Norma as though it might fall off the ground and fly away in the heat of the afternoon. The two cousins climbed up to a little graveyard. They read the names on the stones. They found a little pond and looked for frogs and fish and things. Eee! Look at her doing a cartwheel. Norma found a nice feather and showed it to Ray. Ray found a stick that he liked and showed it to Norma. No, 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 said Norma in her mother's voice. Sticks are not toys. You'll get hurt. Ray cried when she took his stick, but then she wrote his name in the mud, and he liked that. Before long, Ray had to go to the bathroom again, and they went back inside. Just before they left to go home, Norma stopped at a huge bouquet of flowers. In the center was a photo of Uncle Frank, who was smiling right at her. Mom, I think Uncle Frank would have liked his funeral. The end. Thanks for watching today's story time with the Children's Book Bank. It was really my pleasure to read to you this book, and I hope that you took away lessons and reflections about life and death and the emotions that come with it. So, thank you again, and see you next time.